My name is Gabriel Aiello, and I'm from New York City. I'm a silkscreen printmaker here at the Freedman home and an artist in residence. I came across art when I was a little bit younger. My mom was an oil painter in Stockholm, Sweden, and got a taste of what that looked like. And I was good at math and good at engineering, and I was studying a little bit of physics in college, and I started to take a printmaking class and went from there to start working as an art assistant in Johannesburg, where I came across a few of the people from the building and the organization of Freedman home, and started coming here, working with a couple different artists on making silk screens and pulling silk screens here, and loved the vibe, and the light here is incredible, and that's super important. I was feeling encouraged to do it by a lot of different people, including Walter, who is probably been a huge driving force and encouragement in my art career so far. Most of these series are just kind of silk screens on metal, where I take enamel silkscreen ink, which is basically like spray paint that's been made for screen printing, the same method that they use to make t-shirts and whatnot, and just on a much larger scale. The piece behind me is a piece called Lighthammer. It's supposed to kind of reference my time with engineering and industrial spaces, and like the freedom of using a lot of these materials to see the beauty of the rawness of the metal in like a different light, just the way that I wish that they saw the beauty of the minds of some of our country's best engineers, of girls and boys, not in a militaristic light of that everybody has to work for either Bell helicopter or something to do some kind of military study, where that you should pay some of these people to do other things where you can also grow another aspect of society, so you don't have just kind of a lopsided, here's some of the best engineers, they're either going into HVAC and making building ducts, or they're either making drones that drop bombs in another country. So I think that the use of metal has to do with kind of the freedom and the parallel between kind of virtual warfare and then sight, I guess. So when I'm with the process is that I'll go to these like industrial facilities, I'll buy the metal myself, and then choose kind of a color and mix a color with an ink. I'll make a photo of something and I'll edit the contrast, especially with these, so that you can see kind of like the spilling out of the electricity, and then silkscreen it with whoever I could drag into, fool into helping me for an hour, and then I'll bend a piece of glass metal to kind of mirror the actual stroke of the image. So, and after that's done, I'll take a little angle iron, also from a separate industrial facility, which is always really fun to buy, and I'll weld it and I'll leave it raw, so you can kind of see where, like, I guess my own kind of lightning struck. Yeah, the color palettes always are really fun to choose. Like, you'll choose turquoise and pink, or like you'll just be sleeping or like half asleep and you'll be like, that would be a cool one to make. And then I'll wire everything into it so that you can't see the wires. So on a first glance, I want people to kind of have an element of mystery to it, I think is important. I was taught to be kind of industrious and prolific by other artists that I've seen working here, kind of coming up the ladder, and how to do that dance and how to, I guess, surf that dichotomy of being a strong online presence and a strong gallery presence, and just getting work done and reproducing, editions, and the building in general is great. I'm just trying to strike the iron while it's hot and come here every day and, spend my whole life here working and showing in galleries and showing online galleries and trying to teach classes of kids here and trying to give back as much as I can and teach anybody who wants to learn anything. Has always been my motive, and share everything I have, and it's been working out really well. I still have a lot more to go, but I think that having this space kind of untouched has been extremely it's great for me, because working other spaces and everything informs everything, but having like one central location is just something I'm extremely grateful for.